Could you squeeze in just a little bit, Missy?
See.
Yeah. Good. For Mr. Martin, you just you're too funny.
Hi, I'm Beth Bailey, and I teach environmental systems, and next year with labs I'll be working with a team course with Ms. Versace with IB Business as well.
Hi, I'm Linda Carmichael, and I will be teaching the IB Social and Cultural Anthropology, HL.
I'm Sean Martin, and I'll be teaching the IB Language and Literature course, HL.
My name's Laura Moore, and I'm the instructional leader of the Research and Design Lab at Upper Arlington High School, and my role is to work with students, staff, and community members who have ideas to make our community better. So my role in this process was really to bring together a lot of different pieces of the puzzle in terms of the student voice from the student innovation team, projects that actually started with the R&D lab many years ago, so 6 years ago. And so my role really was just to kind of help fuel brainstorming, connections, and to bring those pieces together.
And my name is Cynthia Balheim. I am the AP IB coordinator at Upper Arlington High School. And my role in this wonderful project is to bring IB for everyone. IB for everyone should be the rule. And we want to make the program more accessible for students by chunking it, having transdisciplinary courses, and really harnessing time to be our friend rather than our enemy.
So labs, it's actually one of those beautiful coincidences where there are two acronyms that it really could stand for. It worked out that the L for literature, so language and literature is the English class. The A for anthropology, so cultural anthropology, and the study of people and cultures and why we behave and interact and make decisions the way that we do, and the way that our environment influences that. And then the B for business, and the S for science or environmental systems and society. And so that's the content piece of it. But in terms of the other component, the L stands for leadership. One of the things that makes labs different is the fact that in addition to being an interdisciplinary opportunity, students will get the chance to get some training in leadership. And then the A stands for authenticity. It was so important to all of us to make sure that we really spend time coming to terms with our COVID-19 lessons. This idea that we all are craving connection, we're craving opportunities to be able to develop relationships, and really an opportunity to start exploring kind of how those construct our identities as individuals. And then the B for balance, and really we are in a world that rushes from place to place, and that got exploited by COVID-19, I think in a lot of ways. Everyone feels absolutely buried, and so the more that we are talking about well-being, the more obvious it becomes that the way to achieve that really is for us to be intentional and strategic about the way that we're approaching what we do, to look for opportunities to try to get the most out of the time that we are spending. And then the S stands for service. So I was like, wait a second, it stands for service. And really that comes into play. It is so hard to do a service learning project in 48 minutes. And to be able to give these teachers the opportunity to work collaboratively, to find experiences that harness time in a way that gives them the chance to explore, the chance to be able to go see things, touch things, meet people, the chance to listen to speakers, to really put life and passion back into education, we think is really crucial. And we've lost a little bit of that just with the world that we've lived in for the last couple of years. And so our hope with this is to offer that. And despite the fact that there are a number of students who want those opportunities, when kids have to miss class in order to have them, it creates a dynamic where they're choosing between the immediacy of today, the discussion I'm gonna miss, the quiz I'm gonna miss, the test I'm gonna miss, and the potential for impacting their life on a much larger scale. And so by creating this opportunity, we'll be able to give students the chance to not miss class and have these experiences.
And the benefits are that you're going to get 4 IB classes seamlessly integrated over 2 years. So we're going to cut out the redundancies, we're going to make it doable for students, we're going to look for connections, and we're going to look for collaborative projects and assessments for them.
So for IB Environmental Systems and Societies, it's an SL course, but it'll run 2 years along with Ms. Versace's SL Business course. My course really looks at sustainability through the lens of the different spheres on the Earth, the hydrosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere, and we look at human impact and interaction, which ties really well with her class because she looks at sustainability as one of her major themes, along with the ethics of business and how we can kind of incorporate those two things together.
And so with the social and cultural anthropology, obviously we're looking at the culture, interactions of culture, changes in culture over time, anything that you can think of really that deals with the culture of a group of people. And it can be within the United States, it could be around the world. And then of course with that, we're going to come across environmental disasters and other scientific pieces, and also, with the business piece will be how it impacts a people's economy and their living.
So for the IB language and literature, we really focus on the way in which language is at the core of this, and the way in which a language is both influences culture and is influenced by culture. And we look at textual examples of language that are pretty broad and liberal, what constitutes a text in IB language and literature. So we'll look at, poems, plays, novels, the traditional kind of English class sort of things. But we also look at advertisements, we look at song lyrics, we look at nonfiction text, we look at visual texts that evoke language use. So it's very broad, it's very skill-based, and it allows us to explore other cultures as well as our own culture through language. And it kind of ties a lot of these courses together and gives us an opportunity to kind of synthesize multiple disciplines and look at language use across disciplines.
So we'll have more time, so I think we can explore more connections within my class with business, but then also looking at how it relates to the other 2 courses as well. In my mind, one thing that I'm excited about is when we do our field work unit, maybe we're able to take a chunk of time and just focus on getting out in the field. We don't have to rush back, and then after that unit's over, maybe Ms. Versace is spending a little bit more time on a project. So things can be balanced, and then also integrated, like if they're working on some kind of research paper, maybe the focus of the science piece is with me, but maybe Mr. Martin's helping with, the formatting and the writing piece, which I think can really be beneficial for students.
Well, it's very unique because it's the only place it's offered in the world, because literally we made it up. We started talking together about what school could be, and we looked at the lessons that we had learned over time from comments that students have made. We looked at things we have tried in the past that didn't work, and we questioned why and said, well, let's bring it back and make it better. Let's learn from our mistakes and go forward. And we called our meetings IB Dreaming, and that's what we did.
We have a team full of student-centered, passionate educators who are really committed to this idea that we can bring joy back into education, that we can foster curiosity, that it can be fun to go to school, and that it's really neat to be able to see the way that that the world can come together through what you're learning, that it doesn't need to be segmented into 48-minute chunks where we are all sort of at the mercy of the bell telling us to march from one place to the other. We want to create space for this to come to life in ways that is inspiring to everyone, teachers as well as students, because we know that if teachers have the ability to be able to collaborate with each other to really make learning meaningful, they have the time to do it, they have the space to do it, they have the facilities, which we now have, to be able to do it. We know magic can happen. And so when we talked about dreaming, that's really what it was. We have been involved in so many design thinking conversations over the years about what both students and staff want from school. And there's no reason we can't make it. And so there really was a lot of magic in all of the sessions. All of us left with so much energy when we ended our meetings, quite simply because it really gets us back to why we became teachers, why we became educators in the first place.
We have that flexibility, which is awesome. So and even the flexibility, not just with the IB business and environmental science, but it could be the flexibility for all of us. So we may have, a team taught approach for a few days. I might take it for a few days, or Mr. Sachi, or we're going to be meeting as a team, and so we could decide, okay, for this whole time period on Wednesday, anthropology is going to meet because they're doing this project or having a speaker. So we'll meet, set a calendar, but if I'm saying this right, it's not always going to be the same. It gives us that flexibility to make it work for the students.
We're hearing over and over that students want opportunities to have deep connections, have the time to build deep connections with their teachers, with their peers. This program will allow students to be able to have the same group of teachers for 2 years. Those teachers are going to know them so well. There's going to be a seamless transition between junior and senior year. You don't have to worry about which class you're going to be in, whether or not you have to start over in terms of building some of those relationships. Not only with your teachers, but also with your classmates. You're going to have a team. It's going to be a group of students and teachers who already know where they are, who they are, how they can work together, and what they can do to be able to carry their learning and their curiosities forward. So I think that's another really powerful benefit to the program as well.
And also, you're guaranteed lunch with your friends for 2 years.
Right,
I think
right.
that's good.
Right. So really, for those, we believe learning is social, and we can't deny that. When you have classes with people that you feel connected to, learning thrives. And so we really hope that this that this will give a lot of students an opportunity to have a wonderful, positive end to their high school years. I would say really the hesitation, seeing a couple and chime in, I think there are some students who love the structure of it. They want everything that it offers, with the exception of the classes don't necessarily fit if they're taking a STEM heavy schedule. So some of the kids who are looking to take some of the computer science classes or extra science or math classes are having trouble coordinating, but I'm encouraging all of them to reach out to Ms. Balheim, because Ms. Balheim works magic, and so she's able to work with people to try to figure out if it's possible to make that work. But really that is the main drawback that I'm hearing from students.
We've been able to make a lot of those schedules work. Another drawback is some students just aren't interested in cultural anthropology. They've looked at it, and it's not where they want to spend their time over 2 years. So they've asked for a 1-year class, and I'm like, no, that doesn't fit with our model. But that does give us ideas for planning future renditions of labs. We are trying to take the lessons learned from COVID and push them forward. We know that education cannot be the same for students or teachers. And this is a way to directly confront those issues, problems that we see in school, and try to fix them so that we are honoring the well-being of both students and staff.